Per. Per means house, Neter God. Neter Per is the house of the God. Fila temple, one of the temples moved and reconstructed in higher place after building the high dam. You know, after building the high dam raised the level of the water from 121 meters to 183 meters. And we need to move people from the south to the north, the Nubian society moved from south of the high dam to the north of the high dam. And also we need to move 14 temples cutting and reconstructed in higher place. One of them Fila temple, one of them Abu Simbel. But Abu Simbel very famous because Abu Simbel we need to cut the mountain and plus the stones of the temple because the temple cutting inside the mountain. So to remove the temple we need to remove the original mountain itself. That's why Abu Simbel is very famous because it was hard work to move Abu Simbel. For sure it's a hard work also to move this temple. The original place under the water now. The island now under the water and moved to this island in 1971. So this temple moved here in 1971. I mentioned to you Old Dam or Aswan Dam on the way, right? After building Aswan Dam in 1902 by British, Aswan Dam raised the level of the water in this area. And half of the temple here covered by water. So the only way to visit Fila temple in the original location, which is now under the water, to come by boat and you go through the pillars because half of the temple was covered by water. But after building the high dam, it will be totally covered by water, and that's why we need to reconstruct it in higher island, which is this island called Angelica Island. Any temple in Egypt is dedicated to Holy Family. Holy Family, mother, father, and son. Except two temples. One of them Abu Simbel. Abu Simbel dedicated to 4 gods. And one of them Komombo. Komombo dedicated to 2 holy families, not only 1 family. But the rest of the temples in Egypt dedicated to mother, father, and son. The temple built because of the legend behind. What about the legend for this one? It's very nice story telling us when God Ra, the main God, the creator God, he created himself by himself. He created himself by himself, and after he started to create everything else, the mountains, the trees, everything. And at the end, he decided to make humans or create humans. Okay, he created humans, and he created, 2 sons and 2 girls, like brothers and sisters, and sending them to the land, to the earth here, with other people. But the 2 and 2, almost son of God, right? Because Ra himself created this special 2 boys and 2 girls and sending them to the rest of the human. They living in small village or small community with the people, with the normal people, and all the people in the village love couple called Isis Osiris more than the other couple called Set Nephthys. But remember, Isis Osiris, Set Nephthys, all brothers and sisters. Okay, but people love Isis Osiris more than Set Nephthys because Isis Osiris teaching the people the good things, and Set Nephthys teaching the bad thing. It's this is a conflict inside the human being, the bad and the good. There is always conflict between bad things and good things. So Isis Osiris represented good side, Set Nephthys represented the bad side in the human being. Okay, so Set felt jealous from his brother because everyone loves him, no one loves me. So I want to kill you. But I can't kill you direct, so I need to make trick. So he made a party and he invited everyone in the village to his party and he prepared the golden sarcophagus and he challenged, and he said to everyone, anyone his body perfect fit inside the golden sarcophagus, I will give him the golden sarcophagus as a gift. That's gold, very precious, okay? So all the people try to laying down inside the sarcophagus, but not perfect fit because the sarcophagus prepared to fit exactly the size of his brother. At the end of the party, he said to his brother, come and try. Osiris laying down inside the sarcophagus, perfect fit on his body. What happened? He closed the sarcophagus on his body and he wanted to kill the wife of Osiris, which is at the same time his sister, right? So he wants to kill Isis, but Isis escaped and started crying. Because in 1 second she lost husband in the sarcophagus and she lost also brother because my brother wanted to kill me. So she escaped and started crying. The legend said the river Nile comes from the tears of Isis on her husband Osiris. So the tears of Isis on her husband Osiris, that's the source of the river Nile, and that makes the water of the river Nile. So Isis escaped and start looking for the sarcophagus. She asked everyone she met, have you seen any golden sarcophagus in the water? Have you seen any golden sarcophagus? No one wanted to give her answer because all afraid. Because Set very bad, he will kill me if I help Isis and give her information, he will kill me. So everyone said no. Until she met little kids playing, and kids don't understand, you know. One of the kids telling her, yes, I saw the sarcophagus going from the south to the north, which makes sense because the direction of the water from south to the north. Okay, kids had good meaning in our ancient Egyptian mythology because one of the kids helping Isis to find her husband Osiris. So Isis went from the south to the north. Where in the north? According to two different theories. One theory talking about the swamps of the delta, and the other theory is talking about the mountains in Lebanon. But let's go with the one talking about the swamps of the delta. So she went from the south to the north, somewhere in the swamps of the delta. She found the sarcophagus open, the body, her husband inside, but died. No? So now she can't do anything, just carried the dead body and crying until she met one of the priests in the north, in the delta, and the priest telling her, Isis, you are a very good wife, you did a lot for your husband, we will help you by magic. Remember, magic, it's very important in our ancient Egyptian mythology. On the wall, I will read magic to come into real. You know, the king holding piece of paper for magic. No. So when the priest reads the magic spells on the body, the husband alive again. For how long? The legend mentioned to us number 3. Could be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, we don't know. So let's talk about 3 months average, not 3 years. So he alive again for 3 years, and both of them married again in the swamps of the delta. And one of the people from the north went to the south and told Set, the bad brother, told Set, listen, your brother and sister meeting again in the north, and they live in the north. Set went from the south to the north to kill his brother for the second time. But in the second time, killed him by what? By knife. He killed him by knife and divided his body into 42 different pieces and threw in 42 different states in the north and south. And Isis escaped for the second time. But in the second time, it was really hard job for Isis because she needs now to collect 42 different pieces from 42 different states in north and south. Isis, she did great work and she collected 41. One piece missing, yes, but the most important piece. You remember the most important piece? The heart. She can't find the heart. And that's why Osiris' position, 2 hands bent across the chest. Why? The heart here in the middle. The heart here in the middle. Because when Isis, she can't find the heart, she knows he will die forever. So she put his body in this position, the 2 hands across, you know, like this, and the heart in between, and holding him this, the shape of key of life. Key of life means good luck and another life, and wishing him good luck and another life, and buried the body where? Somewhere, because later all the states claimed the body of Osiris buried here, and that's why whatever you go in any states in Egypt, we have a small temple dedicated to Osiris. That's right. Okay, so Isis, when she met her husband in the north, she gets pregnant, and now the baby comes. You know, the baby comes now. The baby named Hur. Later, the name converted to Horus. Okay, Hur, he was a little baby, and he needs milk. And Isis, she was very tired. She can't suckle him. And as a kind of miracle, one of the roots of the tree. What kind of tree? The sycamore tree, stretch it to the mouth of the baby, and the baby holding the roots of the tree and start suckling from the tree the holy milk. And that's why the sycamore tree, it's holy tree in our ancient Egyptian mythology. And when you go to Karnak temple, we have 3 sycamore tree, and the king kneels down and suckling from the tree. So this is a sycamore tree. Second time, Isis, she can't suckle the baby. What happened? Cow come to the baby, and the baby starts suckling from the cow. The cow, the name later Hathor. So Hathor equal to his mother. And that's why in this temple, Isis and Hathor sharing the same function as a mother of Horus. Okay? After years, Horus start actually great battle against his uncle Set to revenge from his father's murder. According to the war between Horus and Set, Horus took many different forms. The main form of Horus as a falcon. That's why when you see falcon, tell you this Horus. The other form, sun disk surrounded by two cobras and two wings. You saw this in Qum al-Shu'afa and the catacombs, right? So on the other hand, Set took many different forms. The main form of Set as a crocodile. That's why crocodile symbol of evil spirits, and most of the temples you can see the people hunting or killed the crocodiles because crocodiles is evil. Or donkey, okay? At the end of the war between Horus and Set, Horus lost his eye, one eye, the right eye, but protected his life. I lost my eye, but still alive. And that's why later when you see eye of Horus, I will tell you this is symbol of protection. That's why now, until now, we have eye to keep the evil spirits away. If you notice, most of the cars in Cairo hanging like fingers and eye in the middle. So eye just to keep the bad eyes or the evil spirits away. On the other hand, Set lost his legs. Okay, it means both of them, you know, lost a very strategic state in his land. You know, at the end of the war, Horus killed his uncle Set and becomes as a first king of united Egypt. And that's why the king in his lifetime later on represented himself equal to who? To Horus, the first king. But after his death, making himself equal to who? His father Osiris, because his father Osiris comes as a main god after life. And that's why the king in lifetime making statues with falcon or a straight false bear, but after his death making statues with curved beard, and this position was, like you saw, you remember the Egyptian museums, the statues with two hands positions. So this temple dedicated for this story. The temple starts from inside to outside. I mean, if you decide to build temple as a king, I will start with what we call it the Holy of Holies. The sanctuary or the Holy of Holies, which is the most important place inside the temple. And normally the Holy of Holies, 3 rooms. The biggest one, the one in the middle, dedicated to the main god or the main goddess, and the two small side rooms, one for wife, one for son, or one for husband, one for son, whatever. Okay, so at the end of the temple, this is the beginning of the temple actually. 3 rooms, biggest one in the middle, and 2 side rooms for son and mother. Okay, then we need rooms around the Holy of Holies to keep the offerings and to keep the stuff important to purify the statue. What's inside the Holy of Holies? Golden statue. Golden statue represented the main image of the God. Like here, for example, when you go inside the Holy of Holies, in ancient times, supposed to be we have boat, what we call it the solar boat or the sun boat, and inside the boat we have golden image for Isis. The priest every day washed the statue and make sort of magic spells on the statue and close the shrine, close the boat and close the shrine. Okay, it means every day I need to open the door to clean the statue. It means I need to have a small room to keep the stuff, use it to clean and purify the statue, like essence. Essence is very important to purify statues. Okay, so we have Holy of Holies, 3 rooms, and then we have side rooms. Okay, and then later on we have what we call it Hop style hall. Hop style hall. This is room with pillars and roof. Normally the scene inside this Hop style hall, offering scene. Then we have what we call it open yard or open court. Then we have what we call it pylon or tower. Pylon, the outer tower, which is this one there. You see this is what we call it pylon, this building. Okay, and then we have obelisks outside. So it means this section, the last part built in the temple, right? Philae temple start building in the 3rd century BC, which is Ptolemaic or Greek time, and ending in the 3rd century AD, 600 years. 600 years to build the temple, because built one by one. As King Ptolemy the first, he decided to make the sanctuary. He bought the sanctuary. Later on, like 100 years, King Ptolemy 11th, he decided to make the rooms around. Then later on, Emperor Hadrian decided to make this Hop style hall, and another like 50 years, another Roman emperor decided to make the open yard and the pylon outside. What is the function of each part of the temple? If you look at the design of the temple, it starts from light, this 100% light, right? Mm-hmm. When you go inside, open yard is still light, but not like here, because surrounded by walls. Okay, so the light is a little bit less. Then we go inside the Hop style hall, not dark, because they're making windows to allow some lights to enter this place. Then when you go to the Holy of Holies, it's totally dark. The darkest place should be the Holy of Holies, because this transaction from life to the death, transaction from east to the west. Okay, all the temples goes like that: open yard or open court, pylon, then hobbit style hall, then the Holy of Holies, the darkness place. Okay, this section here built in the 3rd century AD. If you count the pillars, it gives you number 74 pillars here. But look at the columns. The columns take the shape like so many different type of flowers. You see the columns here?
Yeah.
That's actually Greek Roman style, because our ancient Egyptian columns only take 2 different shapes: lotus or papyrus, the 2 holy flowers. Lotus open or closed, whatever. If it's roof, it will be closed. If it's facing sun, it will be open. But so many different type of flowers. That's Greek Roman influence. It was 2 obelisks standing in front of the temple, but the 2 obelisks moved actually to England later on, and 2 lions. Still, you can see the lions just there. This is all made out of local sandstone. This Aswan, this area, very famous with granite. Everywhere around here, we will see like mountain made out of granite. All the granite obelisks cutting from this area occurs in Aswan here, because only Aswan in Egypt will have granite. We have pink and red and gray granite in Aswan. Any question?
Can you translate the hieroglyphics for us?
I still have something to. So we're going inside, okay, and we still have.
Ignore you.
Is this graffiti down here?
Yes.
This is all. This is gravity. Not here. This is not just damage, but the gravity. This is just oxidized, not language. This is just like.